It is the Blitz. You're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. If you're on the go, ESPNSA.com. Hey, go check us out live wherever you catch your broadcast. Go to our YouTube channel. You'll see head football coach of them UIW Cardinals, some fighting Cardinals. Eric Morris joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. Well, Coach, when last we spoke, there are a lot of unknowns after months of ongoing practice. And I want to preface this with something my son said. When we were talking about the conversation we had last week, he said that when we were talking about all the things that you'd gone through, he goes, and my son's a young coach. He goes, I can't imagine how angry I would be after the first play that we run when that guy turns the wrong direction. I can't imagine what that would be like to watch this guy after 1,000 reps still turn left. You know, other than that, Coach, congratulations. What a spectacular start to the season. By my math, 518 total yards. You even ran some kicks way back. Dominant in every phase of the game. 48-20 to start the season. I guess you couldn't have painted it better, huh?
Yeah, proud of the guys. Funny you say that too. Our very first play, we actually busted. We've repped that play a million times. They knew it was the first play. We were supposed to have a motion, go out and then block the guy. We forget the motion. And so, we expected some of that with a true freshman quarterback going out there. I mean, he had some jitters, but what a remarkable performance for a young man to go out and to perform the way he did, to see the field, to command the huddle, to have the energy. So our guys were juiced. We were walking up the ramp to get ready to come back out after we warmed up. And I told a couple of the coaches, I said, hey, I'm going to be as monotone as I can and have zero energy right here because they are juiced to the gills right now. I need to calm them down. So fun to see, fun to get back out there. Excited to give it another go around this week.
I tell you what, Coach Morris, you think about that first series, which obviously, it is what it is. You get the ball back that second series, and from then on, they couldn't stop Ward. And for a true freshman to come in and play the way he did, and it wasn't just making, the easy throws, but it looked like he was getting even the second and third progressions on some of them. Just he did not look like a freshman making his first start.
Yeah, we've been trying to keep this thing, under wraps and a secret as best as we could for a long time. So we named Cam the starter going into our Arkansas State game, which was, back in December. And so guys come here, done a phenomenal job. He came here as a really raw talent, but has done a great job under Coach Leftwich at really improving. He played under center in the wing tee his whole high school career. So it's been fun to watch his growth. I don't think he would have been the starter if we wouldn't have gone through what we did through this pandemic, but he's gotten better each and every day. And I think the sky's the limit. I think here in a short amount of time, I think, he could be the best quarterback in this league.
That was a wing T quarterback in high school. That kid was? Are you kidding? And you recruited him anyway?
Yeah, so he came to camp, and Coach Leftwich came over and tapped me on the shoulder. And we were big believers at seeing people throw in person, have been. That's kind of how we found Patrick Mahomes back in the day, Davis Webb, Baker Mayfield, so all those kids. So he came and was like, hey, I have no clue who this kid is, Coach, but he has an unbelievable arm, the best we've seen in camp all year. So then we're like, perfect. We write down his name, highlight him. We come in later that afternoon and we start pulling up quarterbacks we love. He was our number one guy on our board. And so we start watching the tape and you can't even evaluate it. He's in the wing tee, he's under center, handing it off every time. So we kind of said, this is perfect. This is perfect for us. We're not gonna recruit him hard right now. We're not gonna offer him right now. Let's just let this thing play out. We watched him play basketball, unbelievable basketball player, all-time leading scorer at West Columbia. And so it kind of played into our hands. We hit him. It's hard to do in the internet age to really hide players anymore. And, it's one thing we didn't want it to offer him because we didn't want people to, go and start investigating who this kid is. And so we let it play out. We signed him late in the thing and the rest is history.
There is nothing more exciting than that. The diamond in the rough that you have found that no one knows about and get to present him in a game like that. He is UIW head football coach Eric Morris joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. 1-0 on game 3. A good win, solid and respectable in every facet of the game. And as you look at all three, we knew your defense was a hawking defense, one that liked to attack and go get the ball. Did you see what you were after?
Yeah, it was good. I think a lot to build off. The one thing I didn't like, I think when you really watch film and you study it about 50 to 55 plays into the game, it looked like our defense really got tired. It was warm from what we're used to. We usually practice in the mornings at 6 a.m., where it's anywhere between 40 and 55 degrees here in San Antonio. So a little bit of heat. And then, I think they kind of put together some long drives. Once we got tired, we were able to kind of lean on us a little bit. So, we got to get the guys in shape. We're going to face the triple option this week, which is never fun for a coach to prepare for. And so, but great starting point. Chance Main coming off the end, had a couple sacks for us there, had a bunch of tackles for loss. So great starting point, flew around. Thought we were extremely physical in the trenches, which is what you want to see. No turnovers. Our defense is known for getting turnovers, and so been an emphasis all week to maybe get the ball away from us, or from the other Cardinals. Battle of the Cardinals, Lamar versus Incarnate Word this week.
Well, and again, the Cardinals are going to win, although they're coming off of a 55-0 loss. How hard is it to get your guys to focus in that, yes, you won in a blowout, they were blown out, but you still have to take them serious?
Yeah, trap game, and history seems to repeat itself. So just 2 years ago, I think we were undefeated in conference, and they hadn't. I think they were 0-4 or 0-5 at the time. We went there, played awful, had 5 turnovers ourselves. They blocked the field goal at the end of the game, returned it for a touchdown to win the game. So, we've shown them that tape this week. We've been in the same situation. So, yeah, our guys, we only get 6 of them this year. And so we waited so long. So the preparation's been great all week. I think they've been really locked in and focused on the task at hand. So like where they're at now, at the end of the day, these are 18 to 22-year-old kids. We see crazy things all the time in college sports. That's why everybody loves to watch it. And so yeah, we're going to have to go out and execute at a high level. They were recruited just like us. They have scholarship players just like us. And so yeah, test number 2 at hand, and usually, the good teams I've been around, they make a huge jump from game 1 to game 2. So, they could do that, and we need to do that as well.
Yeah, Coach Morse joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. UIW's head football coach, Lamar, coming up. Yeah, they took a tough beating, and you not only are, as you said, a trap game, but you're also on this accelerated schedule. You've only got 6 of them, as you said, and there's only so much time to get certain things done. How does that affect your game planning for late in the game if you are comfortable? What do you do then? Is it something that you would ordinarily play some guys, but because we've only got this much time and I've only got so much to work with, does that affect what you do late in games?
Yeah, we'll just fill it. I'm a big fill guy on those situations during the course of the game. So, I think we want to get these young guys, especially, these freshmen, as many reps as we can. I think there's some really good teams in this conference right now. That we're going to have some battles. And then 2, we saw that we weren't quite in shape yet for to play 60, 70, 80 snaps a game. And so, yeah, I think we'll keep our guys in longer. But we have to earn the right to get to those situations, and our kids know that. We've talked about it. And so we have not taken this team lightly. I have a ton of respect for this program and Coach Morgan, a first-year head coach. They're playing a ton of freshmen right now. And so yeah, we're going to come out with guns a-blazing like we always do, and take what the defense gives us on offense and come out and try to play extremely fast and physical in all 3 phases.
UIW head football coach Eric Morris with us here on the Blitz, ESPN San Antonio. You talk about your team being in shape. They looked like they were in shape till 3 o'clock. That game didn't end until almost 4. When did college games go from about 3 hours to almost 4 hours?
I think since Mike Leach's tree started exploding in college
it's all you Texas Tech types, isn't it?
That's right. Everybody thinks it's sexy and cool to throw the football, right? And so, I think football's evolved that way. Now, I'll tell you the other thing is these TV timeouts. It drives you crazy. You get in a rhythm, and people don't see it. As a coach, you're out there. You got your play call. I call a play, and bam, we sprint on the field, and then this guy walks out, and he has this red hat guy up, and yeah, and you're like, oh my God, come bring back, and just an energy killer. And so yeah, the TV timeouts are not fun. Then you start thinking, you're looking down, you're questioning your play call, and should I do this? And everybody's talking, no, maybe we should try this, and you're like, no, just let's stick to our guns and what we're good at. So yeah, I think TV. on top of, everybody wanting to throw the football and just extend the games. But yeah, they're long. It stretches out, especially some of those, third quarters where they're trying to get all the TV, the referee comes over to me. He's like, we have 4 TV timeouts. I'm like, God, you got to be kidding me. That's a lot of TV timeouts for this quarter. So is what it is. We love being on TV. We love having the exposure of ESPN Plus. What a great deal for our kids, our kids' families to be able to watch them all over the world. Proud for the exposure. When I got here, I think that, just our brand UIW, let's just call a spade a spade. I mean, when I first received the call, I really didn't even know UIW had a football program at that point. And so I think we're continuing growing our brand. Richard Duran, our AD, Dr. Evans, our athletic directors, our president, totally behind us. I think people are trying to, slowly learning what the Cardinals are. They're not marking us off the schedule as a W every week, and hopefully we can continue to build a program that San Antonio people are proud to come and watch, and will come over, to the Cardinal nest and watch us play a fun brand of football. I mean, our kids fly around in all 3 phases, and it's a fun thing to witness in person.
We talked about the coaching tree, Coach Leach out there. Yes, absolutely fun brand of football. But before we move on and talk about why the numbers that are assigned to certain players, when you deal with football games and you have those kind of timeouts and why that might help save your wind, how does that affect your young players mentally when you have to start and stop over and over? And then how do you coach to overcome that?
Yeah, I think they just have to be mentally tough enough to get through it. And, and I think same thing, you fill out the game and you want to coach your guys during that time. But, I think it's a good time to tell a joke if you feel like they're getting a little bit tired at times, or, ask a question about a girlfriend, or maybe a Twitter post they posted or something like that, just to lighten the mood a little bit. So, I think that our young kid, I was really impressed by the calm nature that Cam Ward carried throughout the whole game. I mean, never seemed too high, never seemed too low, had fun celebrating with his teammates. Isn't a guy that would scream at somebody. I don't think he's there yet as a player, still earning all of our older guys' respect. But, our kids kind of sensed his competitive nature and him wanting to go, telling the guys, hey, let's go score again. Don't get tired of scoring touchdowns. And so just, it was fun to watch him kind of naturally take over as a leader and go out and perform at a high level in his first game.
Awesome.
Well, and look, he spread the ball around with more than 10 receivers catching passes. You ran the ball well. You had a kickoff return for a touchdown, which meant we got to see the kicker a lot. Who assigns numbers there at Incarnate Word at UIW? How do you put a 5'0" kicker wearing number 50?
That's a good look, man.
Come on.
He enjoys it. He's 128 pounds. He's actually freakishly strong in the weight room. Great kid, straight A's. Carson Moore is a kid that I'll go to battle with anytime. If he's kicking the ball, he's not a guy particularly would want with me if we're walking down a dark alley at night or something. I'd probably pick somebody else on the team up for that. But great kid, does everything right. Kickers really don't complain about their numbers. It's a funny dynamic. Our the big thing in college sports, everybody wants a single digits, and now they allow 0, and they have all these names, Agent 0, this and that. And I'm not a big numbers guy. It's just like I try to make everybody happy as best I can, and it comes to a point, everybody can't have a great number, and so I pawn it off to our equipment guy after that. Let him break the bad news to people. But some
of those guys but some of those, some guys don't look right in certain numbers.
Well,
and,
like
I do a lot of high school football, and when the left guard is also the kicker, you see a 74 out there kicking. All right, that's one thing. But, you got a 50 and a 59 for your kickers. And so I realize all the, skill position guys have taken the single digits. But even like when Dat Wynn was co-hosting and working with us here at ESPN San Antonio, he used to tell a story. He always had to have a number 9 in his. And so he gets to the Cowboys, they're from 99, and he put it on. He said, I don't look right in 99. He couldn't wear it. So he goes to 59. Seeing a kicker in 50, that kicker, he didn't look right.
And why do you have jerseys?
You remember him, though. Now he's rememberable, where usually you won't remember the kicker. So now, playing devil's advocate, now we're sitting here, we're
See?
talking the kickers.
Uh-huh.
Carson Moore's getting airtime because
Absolutely.
he wears 50, and it's a whole conversation now. So
There you go.
I'm gonna ask him tomorrow if he's happy with his number, and then I'll report back next week.
Well, we want him to be happy. I just continue to be curious why you had 50 and 59 in small. Why was that number available in small? You should be ordering XLs are better for those numbers.
Now that's a good question right there. So I have no clue to the answer, but now I see you'd think that when we order jerseys, those would be XLs, double X, maybe even triple X in those numbers.
Well, they stretch now. Maybe that's what it is. Coach Eric Morris joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. Great start to the season, though. Work to be done. Lamar coming up at 3:00. You had your road travels. Anything you learned from last that you'll keep applying this season, or did it go pretty smooth?
It's pretty smooth. It's interesting. We did, have all these limits on how many people can eat at a time and, who's serving who, whatever. So kind of what we did is we split it up, and usually there's a bunch of meeting time and walk-through time when we get to the hotel. And so what we did was we plug in where offense was walking through while defense eats, and then you kind of flip that and give them some time to clean up all the space. And so they have a huge banquet room where, we sit 2 to a table with, 50-something tables. So it actually went smoother than I thought. Our kids are resilient. They didn't, complain about they have to wear bus 100% of the time wear mask 100% of the time on the bus. And so didn't complain one time. It went smooth. We have 4 buses instead of 2, but everybody spread out, ton of space. But, I thought our kids were super mature about the way we had to travel, the way we executed it, the way we social distance, and then once you get in the game, it's like, you all get out there and you're griping at your coaches because, your coaches don't have their mask up and everybody's going at it. So, football has that, magical thing where when I'm coaching football, there's like not one other thing on my mind and everything else seems to disappear, and you're focused on one thing. And, my wife's like, you did a great job of keeping your mask on. And I'm like, listen, I don't remember if I had it on, off. I have no clue.
Well, they're heading to Beaumont, 3:00 kickoff on Saturday. Coach, congratulations. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll talk to you next week.
Hey, thanks as always for having me. You have a great weekend.
Appreciate it.
UIW.
Again, 3:00 on ESPN Plus. You can watch them.